Hello guys, Matthew here from UChat. So today's video, I'm going to reply a few most frequently asked question about WhatsApp. Okay, there is a lot of things, about the list message, about the buttons. So in this video, I will reply all of that. Okay, it will clear a lot of confusions if you have any issues using this different type of the message on WhatsApp. Okay. First of all, I will recap, and then I will walk through a demo in UChat, and then the suggestions I would give. Okay, if you are using these different elements in your chatbot building. First of all, the list message. The list message is the benefit of that is you can click multiple times. Okay, every time you click, it will redirect to the flows you connected. Okay, so I think it's the best options if you are using this for some kind of navigation. It's like the menus on your website. Okay, and the second is there is a button in sending message, and also there is a button in question block. There is a difference between these two. Okay. The difference is if you are using buttons in sending message, that means these buttons can be clicked anytime. Okay? For example, if the user scroll up to the conversation, they see the buttons, they can click that. They can click it. But these buttons can only click once. After it clicked, it will grayed out. Okay? But if the button isn't clicked, you can scroll up or scroll down to click all those buttons. It will connect to the flow you set up. This is the buttons in the sending message. Okay. Now let's talk about the buttons that in the question block. This is the difference is the question block is actually kind of the one time. Okay. Think about the quick replies in the messenger channel. Those quick replies shows when for the user to choose to make that own selection, right? After the selection, the quick replies disappeared in messenger channel. Okay, so basically this kind of a selection is one time. It only happens when that question block is inactive. Okay. So for example, if you show those buttons in the question block in WhatsApp channel, and then you move to the next step, okay? And if the user come back to click the other buttons, it will not go anywhere. Okay, that's just the design of these WhatsApp APIs. So if you think this will create confusions for your subscribers, we actually suggest you do not use these buttons in the question block. Okay, so that is about the quick reply difference in sending message and the question block. The last one, buttons with external website URL. Even in the flow builder, you can send a message with a button, and the button you can link to the open website URL. You can put your URL over there, okay? And you have to understand that WhatsApp only support the buttons with external URL, website URL in template message, okay? So it's either you use a template message to send to send actually a message with button link to external website URL, or if you do not use a template message, for the compatible reasons, UChat will actually convert that website URL and put it as a link in the description. Okay, it will not show as the buttons. It is not something wrong with UChat. Okay, you need to use a template message to add the external links. Okay, so that's the 4 things we are going to cover today. Now Let me get to the flow. Okay. First of all, let me show you what I have built for this. So over here, I built a UChat WhatsApp FAQ, right? I use send message and I use list message. Okay, as you can see, I use a list message. I just offer these 4 quick demos. Okay, each of that I will design what are the values I want to save into the user custom fields. Okay, because I will use a condition to check what the option the user actually choose, which list item the user choose, right? That will redirect them to the next block. Okay, so this is how you can, in this I have a condition, I will check what the custom fields have the value of the list item. Okay, and then I can link this to different flows. So first of all is here is the buttons. Okay, even you can set up the buttons and you can select the website URL, but when we are actually display this message, we just add these links in the description. Okay, that's our default, how we default handle this. Okay, if you want to actually show the links in a buttons, you need to use a template message like this over here. Okay, and then it will display that button, actually a button to the external website URL. Now let's see if this is a list message. This can trigger multiple times. Okay, anytime the user can come back to the menu, they can select, and then it will always redirect them to the sections they select. Now sending message and question block. So in sending message, you can include, for example, 2 buttons, right? All these buttons you can link to the next block. So these buttons can only click once. Okay, but these buttons in the sending message blocks, they can click anytime. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, if they scroll up or scroll down, they see those buttons in the sending message block, they can click multiple times. If they haven't clicked already, it will redirect them to the flow it's connected. Now let's talk about this one, the question blocks. We see a lot of tickets on this one. So if you are using send a message, if you are using a question block, and you have different, this is quick reply, okay? And in the advanced settings, you can actually decide these quick replies display as a list or as buttons, okay? No matter, it doesn't matter which display style you choose. Okay, I select these 2 buttons, so it will show up as buttons. So what I did over here is, if the user click any buttons in this, when this action block is active, it will work. Okay, it will redirect them to the blocks it's connected. But if the user doesn't click these buttons, they type anything, they move to the next step, as long as the user move out of this question block with buttons, all these buttons will not work. Okay, so no matter how you click that, it will not go anywhere. Okay, that's the questions, most asked questions we have, but that's just the design of the system. Okay, and if you do not want this kind of confusion, so you do not use these quick reply buttons in the question block. Okay, so enough of this walkthrough. So now let me show my phone. We will walk through this demo. Okay, let me show you what is happening over here. So first of all, let's move to over here, and let's see. So I will start the demo, typing the keywords to trigger the flow. First of all, I want to show you that this option currently you see over here, This option you see are current over here is a list message. Okay, basically this can activate anytime. You can click, you can send, it will always trigger the flows you want. Okay, so I can trigger this list message multiple times, and every time it will work. Okay, now let me show you another thing. If I'm testing, let me do a buttons. Okay, if I send the buttons, it will send this message. Okay, as you can see, this link uchat.au, that is actually when I design the flow, it is show as a button, okay, with the open website URL. But because I'm not using a template message, so it will add those links in the description. Okay, so that is the design of that's the compromise we need to make, because we want to make sure that that the blocks, the messages are compatible, easily compatible in different channels. Okay, so if you want that to show up as a real button, and then you need to use a template message. Okay, I'm using a template message over here. You need to submit for the review and get Facebook approved, and then you can use this template message. As you can see, this checkout with Stripe, this is the external URL. Okay, if you click, it will link you to a website. Okay, it can be a static URL or it can be a dynamic URL. Okay, that's with the buttons. Now let's go to another demo. Let's see, sending message. Okay, so if I'm sending a message over here, you can see there are two buttons. Okay, these buttons you can only click once. For example, I can click this one, it will gray out, but it will trigger the flow that is connected with this button. Okay, now if I keep engaging with this bot, and now if I want to move out, you can still click another button, because this button is sent through send message block. So if you click the second button, it will still work. It will still connect you to the next flow. Okay, but if you are using, for example, if you are using those buttons in the question block, you will see the difference. Okay, so currently these buttons are sending through question node. So if you are active in this question block, you click these buttons, it will work. Okay, it will click you to the, for example, if I click this one, UChat is the best, and then it will redirect the flow it's connected. Okay, now you already move out of the question block. The question block is not active anymore. So even the button is still showing up, but if you click now, these buttons UChat rocks, it will not move to anywhere. Okay, so that's just the design or limitation of the system. So if your customers find it confusing, and we suggest you only use those buttons in the sending message block. Okay, so I think that explains, and I hope that clarifies if you have any questions about this. And basically, to summarize up, is list message can trigger anytime. Quick replies, the buttons in the sending message can click anytime, but can only click once. Buttons in the question block, they are only active when the user is active in the question block. Okay, it will not work if they are moving out of the question node. And the last is, if you want to use the external link, the external URL to show it as a real buttons, you need to use template message in WhatsApp. Okay, that's all the content today, and I hope you guys can clarify this for you, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.